opening up to backbends, to open up to new inspiration and new energy. For this practice, it would be nice to have a bolster and block. Pillow will do just fine. So go ahead and grab that and I'll meet you on the mat. So we're going to start today in an easy seated pose. Just crossing the legs, whatever's comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong here. You can place the hands, palms facing down on the knees. A little more grounding energy, or palms facing up for more of a receiving. Closing the eyes if they are not already closed. And taking a moment to notice and feel your breath in your body. As you inhale through the nose, notice the air passing through the nostrils as you send it down into the belly, expanding. And then as you exhale, pulling the navel in towards the spine. Making each breath a little bit longer, taking it deep into the belly. Notice the side body expand, the rib cage through the back. And then exhale, navel towards the spine, relax the shoulders down. Breathing into the belly, the ribs, the back, all the way into the chest, the heart center where we'll be focusing today. And exhale, navel towards the spine, pulling the pelvic floor together. Staying a few more moments here, setting that intention of opening up to new energy, to new vitality. Opening up the heart. And throughout this practice, keeping that focus on the breath, long, steady breathing is one of the most important parts of our yoga. And then pulling the chin down towards the chest, softly blink the eyes open, allowing a little light in as you come onto all fours. You can stack the hips over the knees, spreading the fingertips wide, shoulders over the wrists. Keep that engagement through the core as you press up through the shoulders. Making a nice cat-cow, really focusing on the inhale as you drop the belly, raise the gaze. You could even press the chest slightly forward. And then exhale, now focusing on your cat as you pull the chin in towards the chest, starting to warm up the spine for this back bending series. Doing that 2 more times at your own pace, softening through the face. And then exhale, you'll round it in, really pressing the shoulders forward, the chin towards chest. Slow, steady movements as you ride the wave of your breath. And after this last round, oh, it feels so nice behind the neck, the trapezius. Coming back to all fours, tuck the toes under and slide back into a soft downward facing dog. You can always keep a bend in your knees here, taking some of that pressure out of the back as you roll the shoulders away from the ears. Finding your breath as you inhale, lifting the hips towards the skies, pressing it back. And think about pressing the back of the arms forward to create more balance and space in the body. 2 more breaths here if you want to walk your dog. Slowly. And then coming back to stillness in your downward facing dog, you can roll onto the tippy toes and keeping that arch in the spine, slowly roll it forward, coming all the way into a high plank. Staying strong here, gauge through the pelvic floor, navel towards the spine, leaning forward into the ball of the feet, maybe even onto the toes. Staying for 3 full cycle breaths, heating from the inside out. 2. And 1 more, inhale. And then as you exhale, you can come down onto the right forearm and then come down onto the left in a low plank. Pressing into the toes. Engage the core, squeeze the pelvic floor. 2 more breaths here. Softening through the face, stay strong. And 1. Slowly lower the hips all the way down, untucking the toes, finding your Sphinx pose. Shoulders over the elbows. And really pull the earth, curling into the back as the shoulders again come away from the ears, having a soft gaze. This is a very nice pose. It's one of the most beneficial and easiest back bends. You're opening through the sternum, through the front body, as you can see that natural curve in your back. 2 more breaths here. As you inhale, feel that sensation of the belly on the earth, pulling the hands towards the body. And then you can go ahead and slowly lower it down, bring the forehead to the mat, the hands under the shoulders, maybe slightly backward, behind the shoulders. And then inhale, squeeze the elbows together as you press into the palms, coming into a cobra pose, creating that same sensation as in Sphinx. Pressing into the index finger knuckle. For 3, roll the shoulders away. 2, 1 more breath, inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower it all the way back down, forehead towards the mat, tuck the toes under, coming onto all fours, and then slide back, downward facing dog. Pressing the hips towards the sky, chest towards the thighs. And use the breath to guide you through your practice. And low lunge is one of the best ways to prepare for a back bend. So as you're ready, you can bring the right knee in towards the nose and then step the right foot through. If you want to use your hand to assist the foot, feel free. And then inhale, gaze forward, exhale, forehead to knee. Inhale, gaze forward. You can drop the left knee down, untuck the toes, bringing the hands up to the right thigh, pressing the hips towards the earth. You're about pressing the left hip forward, the right hip back. Inhale, lengthening. And then exhale, press it forward. Maybe take the chest slightly back. If this is very hard on you, you could always place blocks on each side of the hips for your lunge. We are going to stay here for this easy lunge, thinking about or noticing the sensation in the left hip flexors, the quadriceps. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, soften through the face. Exhale, sinking in. 1 more, inhale. Exhale, press the chest forward. Plant the hands, step back into your high plank. Inhale, exhale, slide into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Feels so nice. You probably feel a little sensation on the left side now. Let's create that same sensation on the right. So when you're ready, pull the left knee in towards the chest, step it through. You can use your hand to assist you, find your runner's lunge. Inhale, gaze forward, exhale, forehead to knee. Inhale, gaze forward, and go ahead and drop the right knee down, untuck the toes, hands towards the thighs or block. And then inhale, settle the hips down towards the earth. Right hip forward, left hip back. As we are working through the back bends, we are opening so much in the front of the body, hence this lunge you'll see throughout the rest of this practice. Creating openness through the body so we can open up to that new energy, ready to receive. 2 more breaths. Exhale, sink in. One more, inhale. And exhale. Lowering the hands down towards the foot, go ahead and take it back, downward facing dog. You can walk out your dog for a moment, take the time to realign, have a bend in the knees if that feels better on the lower back. And then as you're ready, rolling forward, coming into a high plank, coming onto the toes or the toe mound, staying strong for 3. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. You could even take the gaze to the horizon. One more breath, inhale. And then as you exhale, staying strong, slowly, slowly move all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, coming onto the belly. Let me go ahead and extend the arms all the way forward. Bring the forehead down towards the mat and press into the pinkies or into the fingertips, just like you're playing a piano here. Starting to bring the feet a little bit closer together. As you press the fingertips into the earth, you'll feel that opening through the side body, through the shoulders. And I'm going for a Shalabhasana whenever you're ready. Inhale, start to lift the hands, lift the feet off the mat, the chest, the head will follow. You can bring the heels together. You can play with that. And you can stay here or start to bend through the elbows, making that cactus type of arms, and then take it all the way back, interlacing the fingers at the sacrum or the booty, and then pressing the chest up towards the sky, lengthening through the neck. 3, 2, 1 more breath, inhale, lift, and then exhale, slowly lower it down, taking one cheek to the mat. Little counter movement to the back bend. You can rock the hips from side to side. Coming back to your breath, as you connect your belly to the earth. We're going to do that one more time, bringing the forehead towards the mat, extending the arms all the way out, coming onto the fingertips, squeeze the feet together. Pressing the fingertips into that piano as you open through the intercostal muscles. And then when you're ready, inhale, lift the arms, lift the legs, the chest and head follow. Breathing in as you press the hips down. And then exhale, you can start to bend through the elbows again. Coming all the way towards the side body. And then reach back, interlacing the fingers. See if you can take the opposite pinky in front. Quite a different sensation there. Inhale, press the hips in towards the earth and lift the chest and the feet towards the sky. For 3, 2, 1 more breath here, inhale. And then exhale, slowly lower it down, opposite cheek to the mat. Gently shake the hips side to side. Bringing that intention of opening up to new energy, to new vitality. And then as you're ready, you can bring the forehead back to the mat. Hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes under. Inhale, lift to the knees or all the way into your high plank. Beautiful. And exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Staying in your down dog, see if you can find that natural arch in the back. 2 more breaths here. Already feel so much more open than the beginning of the practice. And then coming on to the tippy toes, finding that cat-like of movement as you roll forward into your high plank. And then exhale, lower it all the way down to the mat. You can start up here on the forearms and take a look at me. We're going to grab that bolster or pillow, whatever you have, and place it this way along the mat. Going for bow pose here. So you may have to play with this placement a few times before you see what's comfortable for you, so you're not rolling too much forward or rolling too much back. It's a nice, easy, supported bow, so don't worry about taking it too far. We're going to do 2 rounds. So I like to take it right underneath the breastbone, underneath the chest, a little bit above the torso, kind of on that sternum area. And then you'll start to bend through the knees, flex through the feet, and reach back, see if you can catch the feet. This is already a nice back bend here. And we are staying 2 rounds, so you have the option to stay here, or you can start to press the feet up towards the sky, opening a little more through the chest. For 3, 2, 1 more inhale, and then exhale, slowly lower it down, resting over the bolster. We are going to do that one more time. If full bow is in your practice, you don't have to use the added support, but it is nice as we are only in the beginning of our back bends here. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and bend through the knees, catch the feet, relax the face, and then inhale, maybe lift the legs using that pillow as added support. And remember, you can play with the movement if you'd like to bring it a little farther in front of the chest. Just depends on where you are today. For 3, 2, 1 more breath here. Inhale, lift, and then exhale, lower it down, rounding over the bolster. Really nice. Go ahead and take the bolster to the side. Tucking the toes under, hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, lift it up into all fours. Exhale, take it back into a child's pose. Knees wide, toes together. Forehead connects towards the earth. This is natural stress reliever. It's also a very nice counter movement to this back bending series. 2 more breaths here, breathing in, lengthen through the back body. Exhale, press the hips towards the heels. 1 more breath here, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, rolling forward onto all fours, tuck the toes under, finding your high plank. Shoulders slightly in front of the wrist, maybe you're on the toe mound, staying strong, inhale. Exhale, lower down chaturanga, shoulders above the elbows. Inhale, sweep the chest through for upward facing dog. Exhale, slide back, downward facing dog. Breathe in through the nose, sending it into the hips towards the sky. Exhale, chest towards the thighs as you roll the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, coming onto the tippy toes, light bend in the knees, and then you can walk or however you're going to come into a seated position. Go ahead and grab your block. The block does have 3 different levels, so experiment on what is going to work best for you. Soles of the feet on the mat, and slowly roll down onto the back. The heels will come as close to, you might have to move your hair tie, ladies. The heels will come as close to the glutes as possible. And then when you inhale, you'll start to lift the hips up towards the sky, taking the block underneath the sacrum. Again, you can play at each different level. It's often different from day to day. And then once you're there, you can interlace the hands around the block if that's accessible. If not, just palms facing up towards the sky. Chest away from the chin. Relaxing the face. And you have the option to stay here. We are going to take another variation if you'd like to go a little bit deeper. As I mentioned earlier, it's nice to open through the quads and the front body as you're going into back bending. So you can start to bend the left knee. See if you can grab or catch your foot here. And untuck the toes, placing the top of the foot towards the mat. Maybe the top of the toes. And then when you're there, pressing the knee towards the earth. It feels so nice. Relax the face. Inhale. And exhale. You can slowly start to unwind and then go ahead and do the same thing on the opposite side. Catch the foot. Press the knee down towards the earth to open more through the hip flexor. As you inhale, you're creating space, you're creating that vitality, opening it up to new energy. And slowly coming back to center, lifting the hips as you remove the block to the side. Slowly lower it down, one vertebrae at a time. Allow the air to give you this natural massage. We're going to go for upward facing bow from here. If that is completely not in your practice, feel free to take it into bridge. But you can always play around and see where you are. You don't have to press all the way up. Placing the hands next to the ears, fingertips towards the shoulders, elbows facing up towards the sky. When you're ready, you can inhale, lift, and maybe it's just coming onto the back of the head or the crown of the head here. And that's just fine. That's your back bend. If you want to take it into full wheel, you'll press into the palms, inhale, lift the hips, bringing it all the way towards the sky. Once you're here, you can shimmy sham very softly and gently forward and back to open more through the chest and through the back, upper back. Staying for 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. Slowly be gentle with yourself, coming onto the back of the skull and roll it down 1 vertebrae at a time, hugging the knees and towards the chest. Another really nice counter movement to the back bending. You can stir the sacrum here. Slowly. And then take it into the opposite direction. And rock forward and back just a couple of times, giving yourself a massage as you roll into all fours. Not into, onto. Spreading the fingertips once again. Taking a moment to press into the palms, into the fingertips, tips, the shoulders slightly towards the sky. Inhale, drop the belly, raise the gaze, find that cow. Exhale, rounding into cat. 2 more times, riding your own breath. One more round. Coming back onto all fours, tuck the toes under, slide the hips back, downward facing dog. This is the last downward facing dog of the day. Take the time to appreciate it. Breathing into the lower back, finding that natural arch. And go ahead and come onto the tippy toes and make your way back into a cross-legged position. You can place whichever foot in front. I'll have the right foot in front to start. I like to place a block in front of me to support the forehead. So we're going to take a nice, easy forward fold. Just starting to walk the hands down. You might come onto the forearms. There's no right or wrong here. Relax the forehead as the fluids in the brain drain. Relax the shoulders, relax the tongue. Pressing or anchoring the hips down towards the earth. Starting to slow down the breath. And inhale slowly, walk it back. You can either remove the block to the side, we will come back, or if it feels good, you could keep it right there. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Hands behind the hips slightly, fingertips towards the hips. So there's going to be a couple of variations. We're taking a tabletop here, reverse tabletop. You could just open the chest towards the sky. If it feels okay, drop the head back. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, keeping the chin in towards the chest to start. As you inhale, lift the hips up towards the sky, just as someone's pulling you by a string. And then if it feels okay, you can drop the head back. So pretty intense on the shoulders. So be careful with yourself. Allow you to be your own teacher. For 3, 2, 1 more here. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly making your way back into an easy seated position, opposite foot in front. Quite a different sensation here. Inhale, grounding the hips in towards the earth. Exhale, start to walk down onto the forearms or walk it all the way forward, whatever's in your practice today. Closing the eyes. Breathe into the lower back, into the hips. And exhale, pull the navel in towards the spine as you squeeze the pelvic floor. 2 more. And 1. Pressing into the palms, slowly walk the hands back. You can remove the block to the side and slowly extending the legs out long, coming all the way down into the final pose, Shavasana. Palms up towards the sky, wiggling the sacrum towards the earth, closing the eyes. Relax the face. I like to take a final deep cleansing breath, breathing in through the nose, expanding through the front body, and exhale as loud as possible, sigh it out. Taking this time to soften through the body, through the mind. To open yourself to that new energy, new vitality, willing to receive. Allowing yourself to take in the benefits of this practice. You can stay here as long as you would like, the longer the better. And thank you for sharing this experience with me. Namaste.